So we are doing the reading about Taylor Swift and her longtime boyfriend Travis Kelce engagement. Not that it's super interesting, However, they have been on the spotlight, on the media spotlight for a while now, so we have to discuss them inevitably. So let me see what's going on. So how does Taylor Swift feel about the engagement to Travis Kelce? So, So she's very reflective about this. She's feeling like this is like a rebirth type of situation. Like the old chapter is over and she's starting the totally new chapter with him. And we have the Strength card. So it's like the engagement is proving to her that this relationship can stand test of time. Okay, this is proving her that this relationship is strong and that she didn't waste her time in vain as she did with her exes, that she was with them but eventually it didn't work out with them. But now with Travis, it's like she's proving herself that okay, so it's not something that I wasted my time on. Is she happy in regards to her engagement? So we have here the Magician card. So definitely she is happy. She feels powerful. She definitely feels powerful. She feels like she made it happen. Okay, like she's happy that Kelce proposed to her. However, she thinks that she led her way to this event to take place, which means like she was a good partner for him. Otherwise, she would not have proposed, right? So she takes the credit for the success of this partnership with Kelce. She feels really powerful. So what else she's feeling? What kind of emotions she's going through at this moment? Wow, she's on top of the world. Like for real, she's really in love with him. She definitely is in love with him. It's not a play, it's not fake, as I always thought. But she definitely loves him. She's on top of the world. She's really happy about this engagement. What else she's going through? Oh, so she's having these contrast emotions. On one hand, she's completely happy, but on the other hand, she's like, wow, my life is changing. What should I do next? My life is completely transforming. Rebirth, sense of rebirth that she's feeling. And it's like her world is completely changing, right? She has to adapt to the new life. Till now she was this perpetual single lady. This was something that she built her career on, her singlehood, her dealing with men in her life. And now that she's changing her life, even if she's happy to change her life, but it's like it's completely changing her whole purpose, right? The purpose of her career. It's like what she built her career on is collapsing right in front of her eyes, and she's like, oh, she's trying to kind of silence those noises that she's hearing in her head, those concerns, those worries. She's trying to silence them, but still, it's like she has to completely transform what she is going to write her songs on, her purpose. Everything is changing. And Four of Cups, she's feeling like she has to find the new purpose in her life, you know, things that she was depending on was working, but now it's like, what, you are gonna write about how it's tough to be single, how it's tough to find a good man, and how men cheat on you? What, like, you are engaged, you can no longer write on those topics. So it's like, what should I do next? I should invent myself all over again. Okay, so she's pretty concerned. On one hand, happy, on top of the world, but on the other hand, what's next? What should I do? How should I invent myself? You know. So with all her millions that she has, all the money that she has, she's still worried about what she should do next. I mean, for me, she should retire. She should just, you know, collect her belongings at her work and just go home and just use her money, you know, her money savings to build her life with Travis, to have kids and just enjoy her life. Like, we are done listening to her songs. She can no longer invent herself. You know, it will be like not the same, right? So it was like her agenda, being this perpetual single white woman. Now, what are you going to write about? How happy you are? It's boring. Happiness is boring, right? So I would advise her to continue being this businesswoman that she is. She has multiple businesses going on, right? But I think her concerts and all the MTV type of stuff, I think it's just something that belongs to the last cycle, and it's over, it's finished, and she has to let it go instead of trying to reinvent herself. And just, I don't think it will work. Okay, she should focus on her marriage and married life with Travis, like Paris Hilton did, right? If you remember, Paris Hilton was on top of the world, you know. She was completely like she was completely immersed in her career, in her reality show. Everybody knew who Paris was, right? But after she got married, she was like, no, I'm no longer there. You know, that part of my life is over. I have to focus on my life, on my marriage, on my kids. This is my next chapter. So I think Taylor Swift, she should do what Paris Hilton did with her life. But, you know, who am I to advise her? So how is Travis Kelce feeling about the engagement? We have here 8 of Wands. So he's pretty excited. He's like, for real, he's full of passion, he's full of excitement. Definitely he's very excited about this engagement. So we have we have Page of Cups. So he's very excited. However, I think he feels like Taylor is kind of bummed out. Like on one hand she's happy, but on the other hand Kelsey is noticing that she's kind of lost at this point in her life. So I'm engaged, what should I do next? So I think Travis is trying to look after her, to be there to support her. So what led Kelsey to propose to her? So I think what led past disappointments, past heartbreaks. I think he was dating other women, right, before Taylor, and maybe those women, things didn't work out with them, and they left him, and he doesn't want to lose Taylor. He feels like he finally found someone that he finds some sort of common language with, so he doesn't want to lose her. And this is something that led him to propose to her. And Six of Cups, I think he's ready to have children. He wants to have a daughter, and he's ready to have children and to build this happy family. Okay, so is he scared that his life is gonna change? Well, we have here Five of Wands, so he's definitely scared. But he's fighting with his fears. The fact that he proposed to her, it's like one of his ways to fight his fears of commitment. Maybe he was battling with his fear of commitment, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna let my fears to navigate my life, to control my life. And we have Knight of Cups. So he's the perpetual romantic. He really believes in romance. He really believes in divine love. So he feels like he found this type of connection with Taylor, and he's not going to let her go. He's not going to succumb to his fears and let her go. He's gonna fight for her because he believes in true love, and he feels like he has found true love with Taylor. Are they going to get married soon, or they will have the long engagement period? We have Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a really fast moving knight, passionate moving knight, and this is giving me the vibe that it's gonna happen soon. He will lead this engagement forward, and he will make sure that they will get married soon, that it will not be dragged, and that things will move pretty fast. Okay, he will not let anyone to snatch Taylor from him. He's really protective of Taylor, and he values her in his life, and he doesn't want to let anyone snatch her from him. So yeah. What Taylor loves about Kelsey? What she loves about him is Eight of Pentacles, work ethic, and also the fact that he's very respectful towards her being the career woman, towards her work ethic. So both of them have high work ethics, and it's very important for her. It's like she dedicated her life to her career, and she feels like Kelsey really respects this in her, and it's important for her to have a husband who values her achievements, you know. What Taylor doesn't like about Kelsey? So she doesn't like level of passion of him, or she doesn't like the, like, maybe she's not completely satisfied by their sex life. Maybe she needs more passion from him. Maybe she wants to have sex with him more than he wants to have sex with her. Maybe she has more sexual needs with that she feels like are not met. Page of Pentacles on the bottom. I think maybe at times she's very connected to her childhood, and you know, she's being silly and all that, and maybe Travis doesn't like to be silly. Maybe Travis is constantly, you know, responsible. Maybe he grew up like this, and maybe she wants him to be more lighthearted, to loosen up more. What Travis likes about Taylor. So what Travis likes about Taylor is that she's the emperor. Ironically, she's the emperor. She wears pants in their household. She's the career woman. I mean, he's the career person too, right? But it's like maybe he likes manly women, leader type of women, career-oriented women. Maybe this is his thing, you know. And he loves that Taylor is achieved, that she's accomplished, and she's confident in her own skin, and that she's a fighter, you know. She's not a pushover, and yeah, her leadership qualities he loves. Maybe she's not afraid to go on hunting with him and to do boyish type of things, you know, boyish type of activities. She's not the traditional feminine woman, okay? So he loves that in her. What Travis doesn't like about Taylor? 10 of Wands. She takes too much on herself. She takes too much of responsibilities on herself. And she wants to be in control constantly. She wants to control her career. She wants to control her every step forward. And maybe she's like, okay, let me lead from now on, you know. Just loosen up. Like, both of them want the other person to loosen up, ironically. And she's very controlled. She's very dedicated to her career. And on one hand, he appreciates that. He loves that. This is something that he finds attractive. But on the other hand, she can be too much. Maybe she has a Capricorn element in her chart and she's very, very workaholic. So at times he's like, let me do certain things, you know, just let me delegate the responsibilities between me and you. But she's having a hard time to let loose and just give up on her control. So how they're okay, so what does the universe see as their major challenge in their upcoming marriage? Wow, we have the happiness. This is their major challenge, to be happy. Okay, you know, but if you look at it in a deeper way, we have the sun, we have the happiness as a challenge, you know, but it can also mean not everyone is able to find their happiness, you know. Maybe till now what made Taylor happy is her career, her achievements, right? How expressive she was through her lyrics, you know, how she was able to deliver her life challenges through her words, right? And how people felt really empathetic with her challenges that she was going through, despite her being the millionaire. But, you know, everyone goes through challenges in their love lives, right? And now, as I said before, like, she will have a hard time to find her happiness all over again. She should change the meaning of happiness now in her life. Maybe she should decide that from now on, what makes her happy is her dedication to her family life, right? So happiness can be challenged too, you know. Finding happiness can be a challenge too. And for him, it's like how he can navigate being married to a woman who was dedicated to her career, who built her career over being a single woman, how he can challenge her, how he can stimulate her mind so that now that there is some sort of void in her life, he can complete that void, that he can fill up that void. So, and what does the universe predict for their marriage? Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is like happiness, okay? They will have a happy life together. But they will have to find the door of happiness, see? As you can see in this photo, you have this winter coldness, right? And we have the door of happiness. You have to find this door of happiness amongst those other things that are happening in this world, the coldness, the alienation. You have to be able to enter this door of happiness, you know. You have to navigate your life towards happiness. So yeah, it doesn't mean they will not have challenges. Challenges will surround them. Challenges will be all over the place, you know, but they will have to find the door of happiness, to enter this door and not to let anybody to influence on their happiness. So let me move. Okay, let me move. You know what? Let me ask, how is her ex Joe? Joe, right? Her ex Joe is feeling about their engagement. How is her ex Joe is feeling about their engagement? Seven of Swords. I don't think Joe loves Taylor. He doesn't like her anymore. He doesn't really like her. He thinks that she can't be trusted. Maybe she betrayed his trust, that she started writing about him in her lyrics, and I don't think he likes her anymore. I think he constantly is in his paranoia that she's up to something. So he doesn't find her dependable. What else? And we have Queen of Cups. However, he's like, may God send you blessings, you know, if that's what you want, you know, I'm not gonna interfere in, you know, in your happiness. And yeah, is he jealous or anything like that? We have Page of Swords. So no, I'm getting like he's over her. He's completely over and done with her. And I think that he feels like she has this dark energy about her, and yeah. But you know, he's like, maybe the marriage will change her for the better, you know. See the contrast between angel wings and the devil wings. So this is how she was when she was dating Joe, and now it's like Joe is like, okay, maybe Travis will change her for the better, you know, maybe she will become an angel. So in any case, he doesn't hold any sort of grudge against it. He's just support, you know, he's like, okay, so maybe this marriage will actually change her to be more angelic, to be a better person than she was when I was dating her. And finally, we have Nine of Swords, right? So, but I think that he's aware that she has some sort of mental issues. Like maybe when they were dating, she was constantly on her mental breakdowns. So it's like he doesn't trust her to be the best wife for Travis. But it's like he wishes her the best, you know. He wishes her the best. However, it's like, when I was with her, then she was constantly in her mental disruption, you know. She was having mental problems when Joe was dating her, but it's like, okay, so maybe this time, you know, she will go through some sort of transformation. But he doesn't really hold any grudge. He doesn't feel jealous. He's like, good luck. He's happy she's no longer in his life, because when she was in her life, she brought this dark energy to his life, you know. She really brought this dark energy to his life, and now he's like, maybe the marriage to Travis will kind of turn her into a different person, into a better person. So we'll see. Thanks for, oh my god. So now I'm gonna move to the second topic. Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens. TMZ published the article that they are having some sort of problems. Not that they are having some sort of problems, but I think they were saying that she should not ignore the red flags about Jonathan Owens. But let me see, you know, TMZ just trying to do their job to draw the audience. But let me see how, you know, what's happening in the marriage between Simone and Jonathan. King of Wands. So it's full of passion. I do see that it's full of passion. Is Simone happy? My goodness. Is Simone happy? Three of Cups. Is Simone happy in her marriage to Jonathan? The Hierophant. You know, the Hierophant is commitment, right? So she feels definitely committed to him. But these masks are giving me uncomfortable vibe, and also the fact that she's covered up here and she's trying to cover herself. It's like maybe she's not being herself in this marriage to Jonathan. Maybe she's covering her true self, her true identity. How is Jonathan feeling about Simone? Is he happy? The Lovers. Oh my goodness. So he is definitely happy with her. Okay. He's definitely happy. But I do see some sort of distance, you know. See how they are not holding hands? Maybe there is some sort of alienation between them. What is the source of the alienation between them? What is the source of alienation between them? Seven of Wands. Maybe he is a little bit controlling. Maybe Jonathan is a little bit controlling. Maybe when Simone goes out to have fun with her female friends, maybe he is constantly calling her, checking up on her, where you are, when are you coming back, things like that. He's trying to be super controlling a little bit, you know, but he loves her. We have the Lovers card, but I think the fact that he's controlling her is leading to some sort of alienation between them. So what Jonathan loved about Simone? Wow, Ten of Swords. I think he loves the fact that Simone is not going to leave him, that he feels like Simone is partner for life for him, like she's not going to get out from this marriage anytime soon, that I think he feels like he has her in his pocket, pun intended, and that's what I'm getting. What Jonathan doesn't like about Simone? The world. Maybe he doesn't like that she's traveling the world, that she has to go to places because of her career as a gymnast, right? Olympics, all the contests that she's taking part in, she has to travel, and time that she spends abroad is problematic for him. Maybe he's constantly following her, like he's trying to go with her whenever she travels to places because of her work. So I do sense some type of control issues with Jonathan. What Simone likes about Jonathan? Four of Pentacles. So what she likes about Jonathan? I think she actually likes that he's a little bit controlling. She likes it, you know. Maybe she is a Taurus, and Taurus people love controlling partners because it gives them stability, it gives them security. So maybe she loves the fact that he's controlling, and she's trying to shut her eyes, and she's trying to ignore the red flags that are embodied in like in his personality as a controlling person. And what Simone doesn't like about Jonathan? Yeah, I think we have Queen of Wands, so we have here a lady with one eye open, and with her candle. So maybe she doesn't like that. Maybe she doesn't trust him entirely, that she has to keep her one eye open constantly to see what he's doing, what he's up to. Maybe she has trust issues in him. Yeah, I think she has a problem to trust him. We have a dog, loyalty. So dog represents loyalty, but I think she had a trouble to trust his loyalty at times. She's at the point in her marriage where she has to keep her eye open to make sure that he's not cheating or that he's being loyal. So are they going to stick it out? Like, are they going to be married for a long time, or what does the universe, you know, predict for their marriage? Wow, we have Eight of Swords. So basically they will be stuck in this marriage, okay? Like both of them are kind of stuck in this marriage, but it's like in their head they both feel like this marriage is the best thing that ever happened to them, but this is something that is keeping them secure, you know, inside their heads. It's not the reality, it's how they perceive, and they are comfortable in this mental prison, you know. It gives them security that they can be in this commitment with each other, and despite the fact that they both feel stuck, it gives them sense of security and sense of stability, and they prefer to be stuck than feeling sense of insecurity and instability. So they will continue being stuck, basically. Okay, so let me move to the third topic. So Selena Gomez was photographed with her bodysuit at the yacht. You know, she was celebrating something, bachelorette, something party that was going on, and everybody was talking about how thin she is and how her body transformed completely, and she doesn't look like her real self, which is curvy and all that. So let me see. So everybody was like, what happened that Selena lost so much weight? What's happening to her? Is she suffering with Benny, Blanco, or what's happening with her? So what's happening with Selena Gomez's transformation in regards to her body weight? The Emperor. Something about the Emperor. Maybe it has something to do with the man in her life, which is Benny Blanco. Maybe Benny Blanco loves thin women and he pushed Selena to lose weight. So is it Benny Blanco who pushed Selena to lose weight? Five of Swords. I think Benny Blanco is not the same person that we see on screen. I think he's covering his true self, and I think he's the true controller, and maybe he's the one who pushed her to lose weight, for real. Maybe the Benny Blanco that we see, the nice, the humble one, is not the real one. So why Selena Gomez lost so much weight? Five of Wands. Stress, anxiety that she's suffering from. What is the source of her anxiety? The High Priestess. What is the source of her anxiety? Six of Cups. I think this is her way to kind of... I think Benny has something to do with it, and maybe she doesn't want to screw up her engagement, because maybe in the past, when she was chubby, things didn't work out romantically, right, with Justin and all that. Like, maybe she's afraid that Benny will ditch her if she gains weight, and she's very analytical about this. She has some sort of beliefs that if she's not thin enough, then Benny will break up with her. That she should keep her outside appearance on his level of taste. Is Selena truly happy with how she looks like at this point? Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, I think she is okay being thin. You know, she loves to be thin. Definitely, she feels like she's getting attention when she's thin, but she definitely feels like alone at times. Why she's feeling alone? Yeah, Nine of Cups. I think Benny Blanco, Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, right? I think Benny Blanco, as much as we see him nice and all that, actually lacks some sort of intimacy. I think Benny Blanco has intimacy issues, and I think at times Selena feels alone, and I think Benny Blanco is spending his time alone, and she's spending her time alone, and So, Four of Pentacles. I think Benny wants to control her, and it includes how money she earns, how she earns her money, how she looks like. So he's very controlling. Like, we do not see him as the controlling one, right? But he actually is controlling. This is the mask that he's wearing. King of Wands. Actually, he perceives of himself as the king, as the emperor. Okay, so like he feels like Selena should bow down to him, and if he feels like she should lose weight, then there is no other opinion to entertain here. But his opinion is the only valid one. This is how he feels like, and yeah. Ten of Swords. So Selena actually is not really happy with him. You know, that's what I'm getting. Like, at night when she feels alienated, she feels alone, she feels like she feels thin, and she feels powerless, and she don't feel attractive. Like, she loves the attention that she's getting on her weight. People love her. Her thin figure, however, she actually doesn't like her thin figure when she's alone. She loves the attention that she's getting, but she doesn't love when she's alone with herself, looking in the mirror. So is she going to break up with him or what? Wheel of Fortune. I think she's just going with the flow of life cycles, you know, and she feels like she can't stop this wheel, you know, and she's just going along with it. Why is Benny so much, you know, controlling her life and her appearance? Knight of Pentacles. Maybe Benny is the Capricorn. I'm getting some sort of Capricorn vibe. And I think this is his way to keep her in his life, you know. He's afraid that if he gives up on his control, then their marriage or whatever, their engagement will be over. See? He's at the end of this cliff, right? So it's like his way to make this relationship longer and to keep it lasting longer is to keep her under the wrap, to keep Selena under his wrap, and to control her as much as he can. What should we expect for Selena and Benny? King of Cups. So he will continue to control her, and he will do it delicately, you know. He will not do it in a harsh way, because he knows that she will escape, and you know, he doesn't want to make her run away from him. So he will control her in a delicate way. What about Selena's weight? Temperance. I think she will keep being thin, super thin. And but I think God is protecting her. God is protecting her health. The Magician. And God will show her that eventually the power is in her own hands. Okay? And knowledge is power, and she should not let anyone to control her life, and she has all the tools to control her own life. So she will have to, I think eventually God is protective of her. He will guide her to make the right decision. So we will hope for the best for her and for him. So thanks for watching, and see you in my next one. In the dark of night, the stars light